did, I can build one myself. And that's what we're going to do. But we're going to do it with Software Product Magic, which is going to make it very, very simple. So the first thing I did was went and researched some weight loss stuff, because I knew nothing about weight loss at all. Here is a website that I found fairly early on in my searching. Now, I'm just going to do a simple thing. This isn't going to be as good as the thing that Jimmy offered in his WSO, but this will show you how you can go about doing something that does calculations. And there's actually two approaches to doing calculations. You could use a bit of HTML with some JavaScript in it that did all the maths for you if you know JavaScript. But if you don't, you can very easily do the calculations from within Software Product Magic. And that's the way that we're going to approach it here. So I found a formula that will basically work out calorific intake, and then based on your age, weight, height, and how much exercise you do. And then if you want to lose weight, you either need to take in less calories than it tells you can eat in a day, or increase your exercise. So it's a very straightforward thing. I've made these files up in advance just to save some time, but I'm going to open them up and show you what's in them. I've created a background image, which is just literally a banner and a sort of a slightly off-white bottom part. So I'm going to use this behind my software when the software's running, and I'm also going to use it at the end in the results thing. So here's the results file I've made. This is an HTML file. And I just put this together using Composer, which is a free HTML editor, and put the tags in as I went along. So there's nothing. In fact, I will just open it up. For those of you that understand HTML, I'll open it up in Composer real quick. And you'll see, even if you don't understand HTML, Composer makes it very easy, because it is pretty much a WYSIWYG editor. I've not had to edit any of the actual HTML code. So here it is. I've set that as the image as the background, and then I've made a little table, and this is just text, and it's so easy. And then I've put in the tags that we're going to fill in from the software. So software name across the top. I could have coded that straight into the graphic, but if I wanted to make this a piece of software that I could sell with a brander, and they changed the name of it, they would want the name of their product on the results page. So I've done it as a tag. Then we've got, this is going to be data they enter, what their sex, weight and height is, and their age, and then the output, which will be the calorie intake. So pretty simple stuff, except to get calorie intake, we're going to have to do some mathematics on these figures, and some of it is dependent on how they answer various questions. So that's the template we've made. That's the only two files that this is going to work with. So when we scan, it's just going to look for the tags in there. So let's load up Software Product Magic, and I will load the project that I have used to build this with. Okay, so here we are. I've already built this so that I can just talk you through it fairly quickly. I'm not going to mention anything on the front page because that's covered in other videos. When I scanned for the tags it found were the ones that were in that HTML document. So it found sex, software name, weight, height, age, activity, and calorie intake, because that was listed in there. I have added calc 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So these are tags I've done. I've added manually using the add a tag and then just move them up. I had to do them above calorie intake because that's the final equation and it needs these to do it. You've got to remember that tags process sequentially. So if I want to refer in this to a previously worked out formula, I need to have done that previous formula first. Let's just go to number 1. So you can see how I've done this. So question number 1 is a list of answers question. What sex are you? Brief explanation, male or female. And list of answers is going to be a drop-down list, much like this one. And to do a drop-down list, you give your comma-separated possible answers. So male, comma, female. Then I need to get the software name, because remember I want to put the software name out at the top of the results, just up here. So to do that, I've said software name is a system value, and under system values you have one called software title. So that's what I've selected there. Then I'm going to ask them their weight, just a normal question, their height in inches, it's a normal question, and their age. Okay, then I'm going to ask them how active they are. And again, we've done this as a list of answers. How much activity do you do on a daily basis? And there are the options. Sedentary, lightly active, moderately active, and very active. Again, I've taken them straight from the options that are listed down here in the formula that I've found online. Okay, so now we're into doing some clever stuff. This is a conditional equation, and basically I want to put into this tag a value, and that value is different depending on whether they are male or female. And that is because in our thing here under calculate BMR, the first stage of here's the formula here for men and for women. So the formula differs for each. So basically I have taken this formula and put in here, there is the woman's one there, and there is the man's one there. And this is just straight mathematics. Equations in this, it does basic maths. So this is doing 66 plus, and then it's going to do this calculation that's in brackets here. And you'll notice that where I want the weight that they've entered, I just put the tag in. So there's the one formula, there's the other one. So if the sex question is equal to male, then it will take that formula and put the result, evaluate it and put the result into Calc 1. If they are female, so if false, if that condition, if they're not male, then it will do that formula and put the answer into Calc 1. So next I need to put a value into these dependent on how they've answered the activity question. And I'm not going to over-explain any of this here, but basically in the calculations part I need to multiply something by a different number dependent on their level of activity. So what I've done here is said, okay, we will put into Calc 2 the value 20 if they are sedentary and 0 if they've answered anything else to that question. And then Calc 3, I've done a similar one. So if they're active, it will put the value 30 into Calc 3. Because you can't edit an existing tag, so you can, whatever you're doing here is going to, the result will always go in here, and this always has to be a unique tag. So in order to get a value, I need to put 20 in it if they're sedentary, 30 if they're lightly active, 40 if they're moderately active, 50 and so on. So you need to get, because I need to get a number that it gets multiplied by dependent on their activity level. What I do is I just put the value into, each value goes into a different tag but with 0 as the other option. Then all I need to do at the end is add all those tags together and it will give me the correct value. Then I need to know what the first calculation divided by 100 is. That was to do with the formula. And now finally I just I do an equation, no condition on this, into Calc 7. It will add up Calc 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now they were the ones that, if we go back, 2 was the one for sedentary. So say they had answered lightly active to the activity question. So this will get processed and it will put 0 into Calc 2. It will put 30 into Calc 3, 0 into Calc 4, 0 into Calc 5. So when it adds them all together, it's going to get 30 because it's going to do 0 plus 30 plus 0 plus 0. And that is exactly what I needed to get here, because I needed to get the appropriate value depending on how they'd answered the question. Finally, take the answer to Calc 1, add it to Calc 7, stick the answer into calorie intake, and we're finished. Let's look at the final settings. So for this software, I don't want it to pop up a box at the end with files in it, and they have to open a file to look. So I'm going to create the files in the Windows temporary folder. I'm not going to open that folder when it completes, but I am going to display a file, and I'm going to display the results.html file. So that's where I want to build my software. That's what I want the program to be called. I'm going to let them save and load in this piece of software. So if they've put all their values in, they can save them. And then when they've, say, increased their activity, they can come back, load it up, go through and just change the activity and get their new results. Background image, that is the same image that you saw at the beginning, just the background one with a banner on it. And I'm not going to worry about any of these for now. I've already built this once, but I will overwrite it. And then we'll open that up and we'll take a look at what the software does. So here we are, here's our eCalorie software. So we see that there's our background image. So what sex are you? Okay, I'm male. My weight in pounds, 350 say, height in inches 70, age in years 40. How much activity do I do? And let's say I'm sedentary. I don't do anything. Okay, press a button, bang, there's the results. And so now you have a piece of software that just gives you results on screen. It doesn't build files or anything like that. So this takes this kind of software builder into a whole new realm. You also have a print engine, which becomes active whenever something is displayed here. So now there's a print option appeared on the menu. So if I wanted to, I could print this out. I could even go into print options and turn off the background images so that I can just print the results out without using lots of ink. So it's got all of that is built in. Does that for you. You don't have to do anything to configure that. It just works. So there we go. That is how to build a calorie calculator